Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, professor of physics at Luther College, bringing you the next in our series of what to look for in the night sky. We're talking about the week of June 2nd. This time around, we're starting to get a good summertime sky. Here where I am at mid-northern latitudes, it gets dark later and later, and it gets light earlier and earlier. So our observing nights are getting shrunk here just a little bit. And we've got a moon week. A lot of moon interference, especially late in the week. The moon starts 50% full in the evening of the 2nd into the morning of the 3rd. You got a nice about half full moon. That means it sets early enough that we can see objects, deeper sky objects in the morning after midnight. One night later, the 3rd into the 4th, it's 60% full more or less, and it's closing in on the star Zavijava. Zavijava is one of the stars in the west side of the Y of Virgo. And we've looked at this star a bit before because objects like the moon and the planets pass really close there. A night later, the 4th into the 5th, it's going to be about 70% full, more or less, and it will be sitting below Zanaya, another star on the west side of the Y of Virgo. The next night, 5th into the 6th, it will be closing in on the brightest star in Spica at the base of the Y shape. Spica there, and so the 75, a little bit more than 75% full moon will be closing in on Spica that night. One night later, the night of the 6th into the morning of the 7th, we're approaching 85% full, and the moon will have slipped to the other side of Spica. Now, the other thing that's going on that will be interesting to observe that we can't observe in the evening sky is that Mars is closing in on Regulus. If you go back, you'll see how good I am at predicting things. I predicted this would happen. If you go back and watch these videos, I don't know, 6 weeks ago maybe, we were talking about this. Mars would be closing in and making a real nice pairing with Regulus next week, and it's really going to even be better. But this week we're talking about now, it starts the week about 8 degrees, a little bit less than 8 degrees away from Regulus, and by the end of the week, it's less than 5 degrees away from Regulus. So Mars will have closed on the very bright star Regulus. So this is a really bright pairing that holds up fine to this moonlight. Mars will have cut that distance by about half. Remember that Regulus is the base star in the sickle shape, the backwards question mark shape of Leo. So Regulus is there and Mars is there closing in on Regulus. Regulus is a big bright star. You want to do this right after dark. So as soon as it gets dark, go out and see if you can find Regulus and Mars and just watch it each night. Make a little sketch, see how much Mars is closing on Regulus. It's great. It's a great opportunity to see how quickly Mars actually does move against the background stars. Now, for the morning sky, for something we can see, we're going to pick Aquila this week, the eagle. Altair is the brightest star in this constellation of Aquila. Looks like this. The brightest star at 0.8 magnitude. That's a good bright star. It's the southernmost star of the summer triangle. Now, to me, Aquila looks like a kite. A flattened triangle this way is the body of the kite. Zeta and Theta are these stars. So you got this bright star. So the rest of the thing we're going to talk about, you got this really bright Altair is this really bright star. The rest of the stars are all about 3rd magnitude, about 3.5 magnitude. So nice, easily visible stars, but not super bright, not popping out against the sky, but should have no trouble seeing it if you got any kind of dark skies at all. You've got Theta and Zeta, 3.0 and 3.2. Theta is a spectroscopic binary. If you go back a couple of months, it seemed like every week we were talking about spectroscopic binaries, where you see the spectral lines, the dark absorption lines in the spectrum, in the rainbow of the colors. When you split the light out into the rainbow of the colors, you get dark absorption lines in the spectra, and you can see that there are 2 sets of lines, and the stars are orbiting each other, so we see the lines shift back and forth. When a star is coming toward you, you get a blue shift in that line, a shorter wavelength. When it's moving away from you, you get a red shift, a longer wavelength, and you see 2 sets of line, one red shifted and one blue shifted as they move around. Now, we know this has about a 17.1 day period, if I remember correctly, and it has a fairly high eccentricity of orbit, and that eccentricity of orbit is aligned this way. The orbit has to be aligned this way for us to see these large Doppler shifts, but we see that it's speeding up. The faster it's going, the larger the shift, the blue shift or the red shift, and so we see these stars are speeding up and slowing down and speeding up and slowing down, which means I remember the eccentricity is about 0.6, which is pretty high for this a star system, which means it looks less like a circle and more like a flattened ellipse like that. And so that's probably exaggerated just a little bit, but you get the idea that you're moving faster here and slower here, and you see these stars doing this. So anyway, Theta's one of these stars. Delta, 3.4 magnitude star. And then you've got the tail of the kite is marked by Lambda, a 3.4 magnitude star. Lambda rises at about 10 o'clock at night for me. It'll clear the horizon, maybe 10:30. It depends on which early week, late week. It transits. It crosses the highest point in the sky it's going to get, the meridian that connects north to south directly overhead. It transits somewhere around 3:30 this week. Again, it depends on when in the week you're looking at it. So that tells you it's well placed after midnight. So you want to go out when the moon has set early in the week and check this out. Now, if you drop 21 degrees to the south and the east of Lambda Achila, that 21 degrees, about 2 fist widths down there, you come to 2 more third magnitude stars, 3.1 magnitude Beta Capricornus, which is Dabi, and 3.6 magnitude Alpha Capricornus, which is Algadi. And so halfway between there, you're going to cross the faint spiral galaxy NGC 6814. That's your challenge for the week, is to see if you can find spiral galaxy 6814 located about halfway between Lambda Achila and Beta Dabi, Beta Capricornus. So it's halfway on that line. Now, easier objects to see and maybe more fun objects to see, I don't know. It depends on how you define fun and your astronomical observing. But if you drop below Lambda 4 degrees, so you're going 4 degrees to the south and a little bit to the west, so that's half a fist width down, you're going to come to M11, an open star cluster. It is, I think, the best open star cluster in the sky. If you have a small telescope, remember open star clusters, they live in the plane of our galaxy. They usually have a few hundred stars in them. They have less or more, but a few hundred stars in them. And you see the individual stars, unlike globular star clusters where they're compacted together. It's easy to separate off in the individual stars here. And this is just a beautiful object in a telescope eyepiece. Lots of bright glittering stars that just splash. Take a low power eyepiece and observe M11 right there. Drop 3.5 degrees down to the south from there, and you're going to come to M26, another fine open star cluster. By comparison, it might not seem like much. It's not as spectacular as M11, but they're both great open star clusters. So you want to drop to the southeast and then down about the same distance, a little shorter distance to the south, and you're going to M11 and M26, 2 fine open star clusters. You have your spiral galaxy, that's your challenge object that you try to find between Lambda Achila and Beta Capricornus over here, about halfway there. You got the moon all week, so you're doing this observing in the morning and particularly in the first half of the week, and that's what we got. That's our first week of June this year. Mars is great, closing in on Regulus. So it should be a fun week, something you should be able to enjoy observing this week. And as always, thanks for watching. We hope you have clear skies and have a good week ahead.